the children fun app with movies, shows, and games. Hello and welcome to the Moffet Tattle Tale Season 6, Episode 3, where today we have a special guest, Mr. Dave, the creator of the new PBSKids show Lyla and the Loop. Hi, I am Sumaya.
And I'm Khalik.
Mr. Dave, thank you for joining us in today's episode.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
No problem. How did the idea for Lyla and the Loop come about?
Well, we were trying to figure out a way to help kids learn to build stuff and make stuff, maybe learn to do some code games, but try to make a fun show about it. And so we thought about okay, what's a way we could show how fun it is to be creative and to be like makers, and do that together with a big family. So we started thinking about, we focused on a girl and her big family, 2 sisters, 1 brother, parents, and for the city they live in, we were kind of inspired by Philly, like the way it looks and how many people there are here, and it started like that.
Stu is a favorite character. What is he? How and why did he get created?
Stu, yeah. Stu, his name is initials that actually stand for something truly unique, which means that there's no other creature kind of like Stu that we know about yet. He's his own sort of special kind of magical creature. And he is very literal. So if Lyla asks him to, frost the cupcakes, he's going to frost every last cupcake. Unless she says when to stop, he's going to keep doing it. He just wants to help out. So that's how Stu, we thought about him being, is very helpful. He's a special creature, but also he does exactly what she asked for.
PBSKids games are educational and fun. When you create the game, how do you plan it? Does the fun come first or the education?
Oh, that's a good question. To make our games, there's not just me, there's a lot of people. Nika Bolden, she's the woman who is the leader of our game making process. And we think about what kinds of games do kids like to play? Is it games where you're driving a car? Is it one where you're trying to solve a maze? Is it jumping from platform to platform like Mario or other games like that? We think, okay, what things are fun to do? And then we think about, all right, what's something that our characters, what Lyla and Stu do that's also fun like that? And then we think, what about that could be made to help kids learn? We try to connect all the things, but we definitely want the game to be fun. That's most important.
Are any of the games based on the show?
Yes, we made 5 games based on the show, and there's one where you teach Stu to do all kinds of stunts, like jump off the swings and do a flip and all kinds of stuff that Stu can do. There's one where you're having Stu drive a little car around, you build the car parts, and he makes deliveries in their apartment building. There's one where you're helping Lyla to braid and style her hair in a certain way. So we have 5 different games based on the show so far.
What attracted you to the fields of animation and game design?
I always liked to draw when I was a kid and also tell stories. So at first I really wanted to be a cartoonist, to draw comic books, to draw cartoons, or then be an animator for Disney movies and stuff. And then as I got through high school and in college and things, I thought I also want to help people learn and grow, and so what might be something I could do that combines all the art I like to make and also be helpful to other people. And so that's when I started thinking about doing shows and games for PBS Kids.
What do you enjoy about your career? What are its challenges?
Well, I love the fact that we get to make something that you get to see on TV. That's pretty fun to see the work that all our big team makes together be out there, and other people get to watch it and have fun watching it. And I think I really enjoy also getting to work with a big group. It's like the club you have here. There are so many people. There's 100 or more people who do different things to make a TV show, and it's really fun to be able to work with all those different people together. It's also really challenging because there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of tiny little details to think about, you have to write the scripts, and we had to write 80 different scripts for this whole season of the show, and you have to make sure the animation looks right and all the different steps. So it's a little bit hard to keep track of everything.
How long have you been working in your career? How did you get your start?
I have been working in like on PBS Kids stuff since about 2006. So it's almost 20 years, almost 20 years long. And I started, like for my earliest job in PBS Kids was after I went to grad school. I worked for one other company quickly, and then I worked for the PBS station in Boston. And we made games for shows like Curious George, or Martha Speaks, or Arthur, and I started helping making the games. That's my first job working on PBS Kids things.
Is this the first show you have made? Do you plan for more?
Yeah, this is the first show that I've ever made like this. Yeah, and we want to do more for Lyla in the Loop. We also are thinking about some new ideas that we're gonna come up with and see if we can get another show to make too. But yeah, we would definitely want to make more.
Are there any plans for Lyla in the Loop that you can share with us?
Well, there's some episodes that haven't come out yet. There's one coming out in like around the winter time or the holiday time this year. That's like a special holiday episode where we get to see when Stu first met Lyla and her family. So that's coming up. We also have a podcast that's like characters from the show like telling stories, and that's going to be coming out maybe next week on May 8th. I think it's coming out. And then yeah, we want to do a whole new season with even more Lyla episodes also.
Where did you attend college or university? What was your experience like?
I went to college at Cornell University, which is in the middle of New York State, kind of like in the middle of the state where it's kind of woodsy out there. And I studied psychology, and I studied art. So I had to learn to draw and paint and do photography and do video and all that stuff. And I also learned about like how people learn when they're young.
Did you have to study anything specific in college or university for your career?
You know, I didn't have to learn how to draw to do my career or learn how to do art, but it certainly helped. But other people I work with studied all kinds of different stuff. So there's not just like one thing you have to do to work on TV shows. You can learn how to write, you can learn how to do like math stuff and learn how to run a business, you can learn how to be an animator. There's so many different things you can do and still work on TV shows or on podcasts or on radio.
Describe the difficulty and effort and time it took to earn your degree.
Well, I was in college for 5 years. Usually you can go for 2 years or 4 years. I was in college for 5 years because I wanted to do both the art and also the psychology. So it took longer. So that was harder. And then I went to 1 year of graduate school. So I had an education, so I learned even more about learning how to be a teacher, how to teach kids through TV. And so that was even extra work. So it just took a while, and that's not easy to do, but it was worth it in the end.
How did you choose if you wanted to seek higher education?
Well, I felt like when I was done with high school, there was just more things that I wanted to learn how to do. Like I hadn't learned enough yet. So I wanted a chance to go to college and like try out different kinds of like careers almost. Like, what is it like to be an artist? What is it like to think about being, maybe I wanted to be a teacher. Maybe I wanted to be a psychologist that works at a hospital. I don't know, but I felt like I had to go somewhere and kind of figure that out.
What advice would you give to anyone who is interested in going into your field?
Well, I think you want to find something that you really love to do. Maybe it's drawing or building stuff with your hands or using any of the stuff in this room that I see, like 3D printers or all these computers and whatever, and you just find something you love to do. Or maybe it's writing stories or doing this podcast. You got to find something you love to do, and you just keep doing it. Just keep trying it out and trying different things. And then maybe when you're doing that, you'll figure out something you really still love to do, and that could be like something that leads you into a job you want to get later on.
It was a pleasure to have you with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for your questions.
Now we're going to turn to other members of the podcast club for the questions.
Okay.
So, one of my questions is, in the future of Lyla and the Loop, the little character, Stu, Will there like be any variants? Cause like sometimes in shows, if they have a unique creature, sometimes if they're on like an adventure, they find like the same species of that weird creature. Do you think we might see any of that in Lyla in the Loop?
That's a very good question. You know, we've thought about that, and I haven't decided if that's a good idea or not. So I'd be curious actually to know if you think it's fun to see more of the same creature, or if you think it kind of like is too confusing or like distracting or something. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, and maybe you said something about a winter episode
Yeah.
where where it talks about where they found them.
Yeah.
Maybe later in the show they go back to that place.
Yeah.
Then if there's like any like area near there, they explore around that area and they might find a little cave, and in the little cave they find like more little stews.
Okay, my I had 5 different questions, but my last one is, do you make the characters or make the game?
To make the characters and make the game? Well, we do both. So my job, my specific job, is I write some of the scripts, and I am kind of like the team leader for all the different people who are working together. So we have some artists who actually do the drawings, like sit there and draw, and then we talk about it, and we figure out, oh, what should we change about this drawing? And there's people who are like on the computer, you know, coding all the games, building the games, and we talk together. So, and you make a show, it's not just like one person or 2 people, it's like all these teams working together. And so that's what I do, is I work with every team, and we figure out what we're gonna make together. Yes, we got all our ideas, and we figure out what's our decision gonna be. What's this game gonna be about? I'm wondering for you, do you have any games you like to play? What games do you like to play on, like online or on a video game system, or?
Like vehicle games?
You like vehicle games? Yeah, those are good. Yeah. So we could use your ideas. You know, like what kind of vehicle game would you like to see? Think about it.
How did you animate Stu?
How do we animate Stu? The animators, and there are a lot of them who do this, they use a program called Harmony. And I don't know, did you all use like computer programs to make art or anything in here, or like edit video or sound? It's like that, except it's something made for animation. And they take, has anyone ever made like a paper puppet, like with the arms sticking and you tape it together? They draw Stu's head and mouth and arms in there, and then in the software they can choose like, oh, I'm gonna change Stu's head, and he like turns it a little bit, and now I'm gonna move his arm, and he moves his arm a little bit, and they just keep doing that over and over again to make Stu move around in the animation.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Did you discover anything new while working to make Lyla in the Loop?
Yes, most things were new to me because I had actually never done a TV show before for my work like this. So I had to learn all about writing stories and scripts. I had to learn all about animation. It's like almost everything was new to me.
Hi, my name is James. I have a lot of questions. So my first question is, can you tell us how it was to make Lyla in the Loop?
Well, it took a long time. It'll be 3 years, and even more before that, but like to make all the shows that you see on TV, it took us 3 years. So that was a long time, for sure, for one.
And why are the characters named Lyla and Stu?
Lyla and Stu? Well, I wanted names that were fun to say. And I wanted the family, I thought it'd be fun to have Lila's family all have L names. So her parents are Louis and Lydia, and her sisters are Liana, Louisa, and her brother is Luke. And Lyla, so they're all L names. And then Stu is different. So Loop is also something that you use when you're coding a program or a game or an app. So I wanted the last name to be Loops. So that's how you got Lyla Loops. I just thought it sounded fun together. And Stu stands for something truly unique, and that's why he's called Stu.
Okay, why do you like animation or drawing?
No, something about it's just fun to look at. You know, I think it's just fun to draw cartoon characters, and I always loved watching like cartoon movies and shows when I was growing up and reading like comic books and stuff. So I don't know, I just like the way it looks.
And what game is your favorite game that you made?
Oh, favorite game that I made. Oh, it's hard to pick just one of them. Well, the one that we just put on the website and the app recently is Lyla and Stu's hairdos, and I like that one because it's fun to make the character's hair look different, and it's really fun to like wash and blow dry Stu's fur because it gets all over the place, and that's pretty funny.
Yeah, thank you for answering that.
Did you travel anywhere for Lyla in the Loop?
Yes. I traveled to Toronto in Canada, to New York City, to Washington, D.C., and to Los Angeles, and also Kansas City, I think, too.
Why is Lyla the main character?
I wanted to have a character who was about 7 or 8 years old because I thought that's what kids who are watching PBS Kids might like to see.
Who played Lyla's voice?
Her name is Liu, is her name, and she's actually, I think she's in 9th grade now, so she's much older in real life than her character is on the TV show.
Thank you for answering all my questions.
How did you make Stu's voice?
Stu's voice? Yes, that's a good question because it's kind of like sounding like "Brr," like a strange little chirpy sound, and that is, it's a guy, like it's a grown-up guy who is just really good at making funny sounds with his voice. So it's him who just knows how to do that, and we like figured out what Stu might sound like to make sure he sounded cute.
How did you choose actors for all the characters?
Well, we asked anyone who wants to be an actor, and they're all from Toronto and Canada, in that area. We asked them, okay, who wants to audition? And then they send in recordings of their voice, saying some lines from the show, and then we listen to them all. We're like, who sounds like what we're imagining this character to sound like? And we listen to them all, and then we go and meet them all, and they try again, and then we pick some from there. So it's the audition, they're called auditions, and you take a couple different tries to sort of figure out who is the voice that sounds like what we want this character to sound like.
How did you upload Lily?
How do we upload it? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, when we're done making the animation, it's a really big file we have to send, and then PBS Kids has basically a website or a place that we have to upload it to, and then PBS Kids takes that into their own computers and stuff, and then they put it together with like the part that says PBS Kids and the part that has like an advertisement for the next PBS Kids show. And they put that together, and then they put it out through their system that puts it on the website for streaming, and that puts it on TV if you're watching on your TV. So we hand it to PBS on the computer, we upload it to their server, and then they take it and then put it on the website, and they put it on TV.
What is the educational theme of Lyla and the Loop?
Lyla in the Loop is about learning how to solve problems one step at a time. Like problems you want to build something, problems where you're trying to figure out a different way to like really do anything, like get ready for school in the morning on time. Like anytime you're like, okay, this is a big problem, how am I supposed to figure this out? It's about taking the steps to figure out one step at a time until you get what you want.
Where can our audience go to see some of your work or follow you on social media?
Well, we have Lyla in the Loop is on social media, so you can subscribe on there and see all the different posts we put up about the show. It's also on PBS Kids YouTube channel, and you can watch it on WHYY, and you can watch it if you do streaming on the PBS Kids app, and you can listen to the podcast on Spotify or Apple or YouTube or wherever else.
Once again, thank you for being our guest today. We appreciate it. Come back anytime.
Thank you for having me as your guest today. You guys did a great job with the questions. It was a lot of fun.
That we can solve it one way and another and another. So keep trying, thinking, asking. Now we're building, now we're laughing. We keep going.